You gotta go, Lord. You gotta go, Lord. You gotta go, Lord. You gotta go, Lord.
Hi, I'm Pam Lewis, the national producer of the All-Stars Talent Show Network, the most successful and largest anti-violence program for young people in America. In our 13 years, hundreds of thousands of young people 5 to 25 years old have been a part of the All-Stars. Now, each year, 30,000 primarily black and Latino youth from Harlem, Bed-Stuy, the South Bronx, Jamaica, and Staten Island produce and perform in more than 50 events a year, including a finals held twice a year at Town Hall on Broadway with an audience of 1,500. The young people are responsible for every aspect of these events, from booking the schools where the shows are held, to setting up and running lights, sound, video, stage managing, providing security, and community outreach. And unlike every other talent show, everyone who auditions for the All-Stars makes the show. That's because the All-Stars is not about winning or losing, it's all about development.
I rule the world. Imagine that. I free all my sons. I love them, baby. Black diamonds and pearls. Could it be if you could be mine, we both shine? If I rule the world.
The All-Stars is yours. And take care of it.
Paradise life relaxing. Black, Latino, and Anglo-Saxon. Amani exchange the range. Cast, Lord, drop.
Oh, I think they do a magnificent job. I really do. And I'm very impressed with people like Pam and the young people that, you know, that work there. I'm very impressed with your professionalism and what I know is very hard work. We start developing young women to be leaders when they're Daisies and Brownie Girl Scouts and take them all the way through the Girl Scout program. Pam's a good example of what can happen to a young woman who takes advantage of everything this program has to offer, and it's really a developmental kind of process, you know, where you develop the fullest potential a girl has, and it's the same thing with the young people in All-Stars. You know, they are really working to develop the potential they have.
I was at home, my apartment, and a woman came by. I can't even remember her name now. It was so long ago. And she told me about the All-Stars. And she said that it was an anti-violence program. And, you know, that sounded good to me because a lot of the stuff that I read in the newspapers about violence in the community was, I mean, not only really scary, it was, you know, kind of disturbing because that's not, it's not the way I grew up. It's not the way anybody should. So when she came, she talked to me about it. It sounded, you know, like a good thing to support.
Our program, the CRP in the whole, is like one of the few that really interacts everybody. I mean, you're not just a contributor. Like you're not just the 0, 5, 2, 3, 4 $1,000 check.
That's right.
Thank you. I send you a letter. I'll do my show off for your money and everything. I mean, I know you. I mean, we go out, coffee, donuts.
Yeah, burgers.
Your house, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you cool.
2 years ago, I was walking down the street in my neighborhood, and there was a young fellow who was looking to get funds for the All-Stars on the street, and he caught my attention. And after about, perhaps 15 minutes of discussion, I forgot where I was going. I mean, I was, you know, so enthused with his enthusiasm.
And we try to say in All-Stars, you know, we want to develop our youth from when they enter the program to whenever they leave, whatever they take. Well, I mean, it's kind of broad, but what kind of development things you want to like throw at people out there, or you know, what ways you think we can develop, you know, instead of being just who we are all the time, the same.
I think it's a scary thing to do. So what I like about, again, what's going on in the All-Stars is at a very early age, people are being introduced to the concept that it's forever. You know, it's constant, and it's an exciting thing, and it's a good thing, and yet it's a scary thing too sometimes. But that's okay.
What appealed to me so much about this whole program, and the more I read, is that I think I've always bought into and believed in development and in the idea. So it wasn't something. It's part of my parents are both in education, and they are very much on the same wavelength of the philosophy behind this program. It's just that for the first time in my life, I wasn't developing, or I didn't see myself. I was sort of just going about day to day, you know, doing my thing. And I look at this as one opportunity, and hopefully it'll teach me to explore other things that I've never tried before that I've always thought I couldn't do. So.
Cool, like dancing.
Right. I can go out dancing. I just can't dance like well. We felt the sincerity of the program through your solicitor, through the literature that we've read, through the productions that we've seen, that this is really something that we feel strongly about and that we would like to contribute to and make our mark on.
We like the fact that it's a real hands-on thing. Kids get to get up and get to strut their stuff and really have center stage for a moment. And again, if I mean, that's a real self-esteem issue. That takes a lot for somebody to walk out on a stage in front of 600 strangers, peers, family, and friends. And that's a big self-esteem booster. When you walk off that stage, you say, I did it, good, bad, or indifferent, I did it.
Plus, it's not a charity situation. I mean, they're earning the respect of themselves and the community. It's not like you're saying, oh, here, you know, poor guys, here, take this. You're saying, look, you can do something with yourself, you can do something with your life, and this is what we're showing you. You're not just saying, here, this is going to make your life easier. You're saying, these are the tools you have to work with. Work with them. You have a great success with your program, with anti-violence, and you always want to contribute to something that's successful. There aren't that many programs out there. There's a lot that propose to be successful. Also, when you start investigating them, you realize that who are they successful for? They're not necessarily successful for the people that they were designed for. And your program is extremely successful, and we want to help it continue.
The nonprofit Community Literacy Research Project has been given a $5.4 million Endowment of Friendship to fund our developmental programs for youth. And this endowment is growing by $1.3 million each year. The CLRP's endowment comes from hundreds of thousands of Americans. We have engineered a developmental fundraising model that creates a much more direct relationship between the people who give the money and the people who are served by our programs. Our model of fundraising creates community by doing something some might call weird. We stand on street corners in New York City and talk to strangers. Dozens of our volunteers, longtime members of our development community, tell strangers about the nation's most successful anti-violence program, the All-Stars Talent Show Network, and the 30,000 Black and Latino youth who create it and participate in it each year. To build this endowment, independent of government or corporate funding, we ran the largest door-to-door canvass in the northeastern United States, knocking on doors of strangers in the city and in the suburbs and sharing our developmental programs with them. And our volunteers asked them to give, relating to these strangers as who they were not, as members of our development community. The strangers performed ahead of themselves, giving $1 or $2 or $25 or $50 to someone they had only met a few moments before. They gave in friendship. And now, every night and on weekends in our large telemarketing operation at our headquarters in Soho, our volunteers call back our community of friends and give them personal development updates. And our friends continue to give. When you stand on street corners in New York, you meet folks from all over. So our friends are from all across America. And we have made a lot of friends. Since 1990, when we launched our fundraising operation, we have made 406,631 friends, and it is they who have given this $5.4 million Endowment of Friendship. Our programs are evaluated every day of the week by the partners who create them, the young people who continue to build them, and the older people who continue to raise and give money to them. This development community is made up of people taking responsibility for creating our society, coming together in friendship.
When I elderly put baby crying. She's crying because she's sleepy. Let me see. But if she has bruises on her, I'm calling the cops. Please, no, don't call the cops. Come with me. Parents, please don't abuse your child because it is wrong.
God bless the child that's got his own. God bless the child that's got his own.
At the All-Star, we don't boo.
Be respectful to each other. Be respectful to our audience. Be respectful to our community.